As a child, we are all exposed to a situation or undergo an event that makes us more mature and have a better understanding of what life is about. Some examples that many of my friends have undergone include the parents divorcing, suffering a major injury, or even losing a loved one. My personal experiences that have changed my view on life was when my mom quit her job when I was an infant to take care of me, and again in 2012 when my grandma suffered a tragic fall at her home. These two experiences have taught me that life can be hard when you grow up and you begin to realize what is important in life and what matters most. These experiences I have found is family is always first. When I was a baby, I was diagnosed with the first community-acquired case of MRSA, a type of staph bacteria. I got it from going to daycare every day when my parents went to work. It was giving me ear infections where I had to be admitted to the hospital. When I got out of the hospital after weeks of being there for treatment, my mom quit her job and took care of my sister and I at home. I had to be in the house for a year with no contact to the outside because my immune system was so stripped due to the medications I was on. She hired a speech therapist to teach me how to talk after that 1 year was over because I still had infections in my ear, which was a backup of mucus in the ear canal, preventing my talking. When I was old enough to comprehend this magnitude and realize how much of a sacrifice my mom made quitting work was to the family, I never took it for granted. Growing up my whole life, I liked to play and have fun, as with most kids. Kids do not know about the hard work that their parents do to make their life what it is. However, I was very close with my mom and helped her wherever she needed it, whether that be at home, while shopping, and outside. Learning how much she does for my family and that she is the reason I am here today. Any chore that she needed, I would help her with because I felt like I owed her and wanted to make her life as easy as possible being home. The second event that changed my view about life happened when my grandma fell in her backyard in 2012. She was an independent lady for most of her life, having a divorce soon after the birth of my mother. Once my mom moved out of her house, where they lived in Connecticut, she lived there for many years on her own, doing fine. As she got into her 70s, it was getting more difficult to drive and live there totally alone. So in 2007, my mom, my sister, and I moved her from Connecticut to Georgia in a house 10 minutes from ours. She still wanted to live independently, she just needed some help getting groceries and going to doctor's visits. For these 5 years, between 2007 and 2012, I helped her take her everywhere with my mom. One night, we got a call from her and said that she had fallen in her backyard. My whole family went over to help her and see what had happened. When we got there, we found her laying by the screen door to get inside, helpless and weak. My parents took her to the hospital that night because my sister and I had school the next day. The x-rays came back shortly after, and it showed a massive break in her upper left arm and shoulder. This meant we had to take care of her around the clock, cooking and taking care of wherever she needed it. We brought her back to our house where she lived in our guest bedroom for many months. Seeing her in that position of helplessness and having to take care of her alongside of my mom was when I realized that life is not always about going to school and having fun after. Sometimes there has to be sacrifices made in your life for the people that you care about. That summer, I didn't get to go outside and play with my neighbors as much as I used to. I couldn't always go to the pool, and when I had summer basketball games, usually only one parent went because the other had to tend to my grandma. These might not seem like big deals to us right now. We're in college and we sacrifice a lot of things for school and family, but as a kid, having fun and playing with toys is all we think about. So today, I am 19 years old and almost 20 and finishing up my freshman year of college, healthy as ever. My grandma was put in a nursing home 15 minutes from our house where she can receive 24/7 care by professional nurses and doctors. I can say now, looking back on my childhood, that I wouldn't have changed a thing that happened, even if it went one more trip to the pool with my buddies or one more bike ride with my neighbors. I learned something growing up that I will never forget from these experiences. Family is always first. From my mom quitting her promising banking career to my whole family sacrificing something to take care of my grandma for many months, it reminds us how important it is to take care of the ones we love. Thank you.